There we go.
We're live.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be with you again today.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time to listen to what Wealth is a Decision have to share with you today.
Yep. My name is Yanni, and this is my beautiful wife, Judy. And we are going to share with you a little bit today ideas to keep your website simple, a few things that you should really take note of. And that'll help you just to have an efficient website, especially where you start off. But some of the ideas that we're going to share with you is not just basic, but I'm sure everybody will be able to benefit through this. Right. I'm just going to share my screen with you so that you can just see what we're going to do. Okay, so ideas to keep your website simple. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about designing your website. And what we're going to cover here, what is the intention or purpose, choosing a theme or a template, layout for your website, then mobile-enabled websites, and to keep your layout nice and simple. Okay. So first of all, what is the intention or the purpose of your website? So before you set up your website, we've in the past few weeks we went through a whole bunch of stuff, but one of the things that you have to decide is what is the intention or the purpose of your website, and that is what you want to convey to people. Say, for example, you want to write or publish things about the automotive industry. So then you want your layout to represent something in that regard. And if it's something about clothing, it's going to be obviously it's going to be different to a magazine type website. Okay, so you have to understand there what you want to convey to your visitors, to your target audience. Okay. Then the second point there is to choose a template or a theme, as WordPress calls it. In the WordPress world, they call it a theme. So it's basically just a layout for your website. Now, there are different layouts. I'm not going to go into all the detail, but you get websites where you've got 2 columns, 3 columns. The most common layout for a website is where on the left-hand side where you have your main content, and then on the right-hand side is where you have just a bar, sort of your sidebar, as they call it, where you can have other things. You can have an opt-in box there where you can grab people's email addresses. You can have testimonials in there. You can have your categories listed in there, social media icons, stuff like that. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little bit on that, because it's important what you decide that before what you want your website to look like. Then you're going to decide to get a layout for your website. Now, the reason why we're touching on that is you can go ahead, if you know programming, you can go ahead and you can design your own website and you can code the whole website to look professional. But that's not for everyone, and that was definitely not for us when we started off. So I've given you tips in the past how you can get someone to customize your website, but still what makes it sometimes easier, if you go and look at other websites or website templates or themes, what you want, and then you can purchase one of these themes to make it easy to customize your website. But just a word here, you don't have to go and purchase a theme right away. There are so many free themes. Even WordPress comes standard with a few themes, and you don't have to go and buy a theme if you don't have the finances right away, and you don't really need it. Later, there are certain things which I'm not going to go into today, why you might want a premium website, a premium theme. And maybe let me just touch on this. One of the main reasons is if you purchase a premium theme from a reputable vendor, then they do upgrades as your software platform, as WordPress upgrades, for example. Whereas with a free theme, that doesn't necessarily happen. So that's one of the reasons why later on you would want to go to a premium theme. But for now, it's fine. You can go either direction, whatever you want to do. Okay. One of the very important things is to make sure that your theme is mobile enabled. In other words, when you look at your website on a mobile device, on a phone, for example, on a smartphone, the web pages must respond and the text must still be readable. A few years ago, and you still get many websites that are like this. The moment you go to a website from your phone, the text is so tiny you can hardly read it, and that we don't want. So we want it to scale according to the size of the monitor or the screen that you're watching your website on. Now, here you also need to decide whether you want a responsive website that automatically responds and it shrinks down, or do you want a specific mobile website? So two websites, one for desktop and one for mobile. The best route to go is to go for a responsive website if you've got loads of traffic and you really want response times, fast page loads and stuff like that for your mobile phones. Then you can go purely mobile and desktop to separate sites. But then you sometimes sit with a problem to update your content. You might have issues there as well. Don't make your layout complicated. Keep it simple so that when people come to your website, that it's easy for them to find information. That is very, very important. And Judy is going to touch on some of these things in a little while, a little bit as well. Okay. So let us move on. Okay, so the next area that we want to cover is content for your website. So I'm just going to keep this the screen up here while we just look at it. Now, the first thing is to really keep it conversational. And Judy, I'm going to give it to you here and ask you just to share with the people.
By conversational, what we refer to is to, when you're writing your content, sound like you're speaking to someone. Make it like a story. You're telling someone what is happening, what's going on. You don't want it to just be facts and statistics and numbers, where like in the past everything was just facts and figures. That's what we call the corporate style. Today's terms, for the internet, we want to keep it storytelling for everything we're doing. We want to keep it in the first person. We want to also stay away from jargon and cliches and things that other readers in other countries may not recognize. You're in one country, but remember, in other nations, it might be irrespective if you say something that they don't understand. So keep away from jokes and humors. That's not necessary on your website anyhow. You want to make it clear to your visitors exactly what you're selling. So you want to say and show them what you're selling so they can actually make good decisions based on that.
Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next.
To be credible and transparent, it means that whatever you put up on your website, you should sound like you're the authority in that industry, in that area, and you should be transparent. You shouldn't try to be clever or cunning or witty. That can look like you're being deceptive, and your visitors will not like that because they will not understand exactly what you're saying. So you always need to have valuable content, informative, educational. You want to describe your product. You want to say exactly what it will do for the customers, how it will benefit them. Mm-hmm. You want to show them that this is the right thing for them. They are making the right decision, and that's what you want to convey in your content. Mm-hmm. You also want to have a blog page. It's very important. This is where people look for the most recent information about your product. A blog page is simply just a lot of articles you've chosen to write. In each week, you may write one pertaining to your product or to some experience someone had or something that you would like to share with them. Product reviews are also important. Depending on what kind of site you have, product reviews from customers are very important. It's like testimonials. They're very important. People based what they see on your site, buy your testimonials, buy your product reviews, buy the star ratings, customer service ratings, and things like that. That's of primary importance, why people will come back to your website. It's also very helpful to have videos of testimonials, videos of people using your product or wearing the product, demonstrations and everything. Videos are just the #1 thing for website these days. Keep them very short. Keep them within anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minutes. I think maximum 6 minutes. But if depending on the content, if you want to share something with an education factor, then you might need to be a little bit longer. But if it's just information or showing a demonstration, then keep it within 1 and 3 minutes. Reports are also very important. Reports will tell the customer exactly what kind of ratings you might have in the industry. It will share some stats. This is where you can use statistics. This is where you can use reports or things that's showing what some facts and figures can be. Educational and informative, it will be adding more content that is going to show the customers that this is a good product. It has a good purpose and it will help them.
Yeah, on this, I just also want to say, Judy mentioned here your own articles. You always try to make sure that the content that you put out to people on your website, make sure that it's original content. You can refer to other people in your articles or in your blog post. That's fine. If there was some credibility for a specific product on a different site, you can always refer to that. But Google is very strict for search engine rankings, for example, and for credibility. People want to know that it's you that provide that content, that you don't just mimic someone else or copy something from someone else. And you know, if it's okay to reference a paragraph here and there or a few sentences here and there, but don't go and copy whole pages and stuff, because you can be liable to copyright infringements as well. So people want to know that you're real, that what you're giving them is really something from you, because they connect to you. So when you share this from your heart and from your insides, that's what attracts people, and that is what people want, and that's what excites them to do those things as well. All right. Right, Judy already touched a little bit on this topic of testimonials, but I just want to emphasize that again. It's very, very important to always get testimonials from happy customers. So therefore, allow even reviews or comments on your website. You can review them, because you can set up your website with the comments, whether you first have to moderate them, meaning that you have to decide whether you want to make them visible on your website or not. So when someone posts it doesn't go live automatically. But it's very important to get these testimonials, because testimonials give credibility. It gives credibility to you, it gives credibility to your product, and it makes it easier for people then to share your website and your content with others and say, wow, go and check out Joe's stuff. He's got awesome content there, and this product looks great, and there's so many people are beginning to talk about this, and people will share that as well. They will share that on Facebook, Twitter. They will share it on the social media things. Now, The few different formats that testimonials can take is text, or people can send you emails, for example, or the comments, like I said, on the website, so you can use that. That is powerful in itself, but always make sure that you have a person's name, but also make sure that you have people's permission to publish that on your page. So when they send you an email, ask them, may we use this on our website as a testimonial? And 9 out of 10 times, people will not have a problem with that. But just make sure that you have that, and then list their name if possible. Usually, we don't recommend that you give people's contact information there, because people can spam that, and some of the spam bots and so on can abuse that. A next step is also to get an audio testimony from people, where they can send you an audio file. They can do a recording, or if you're with them, you can do the audio recording yourself, either on your smartphone or with a more specialized recording device, and that works well. But a video testimonial is still, I almost want to say, the ultimate. It works very, very, very well when you have these testimonials, because people can see the people's faces, they can see the facial expression, and it's almost they can get a feel of these people as well while they give their testimony, and feel whether it's fake or whether it's not, whether it's real. And then the last, or maybe let me just add this, you can also add pictures of people, just their photos and so on, and pictures, a photo just adds so much more credibility than just text. So if you can get a picture of someone or a product, then just add it to your text format or to the audio, so that people can see that. And then the last point there on this page is you want to display these testimonials all over your website. You don't just want to display it on your testimonials page. So I didn't mention that, but it's important to have a testimonials page on your website as well, where you can place these testimonials. But don't only put it there. Splash them around on your website. If it's appropriate on a specific page, place it there. Place it in the sidebar, like in the right sidebar, if you opt for that, for the standard layout of a blog. Place it there where people can see it. And there are even plugins there, and you will learn more about plugins as we go along, but you can have plugins there where it can even rotate. So you can have more than one testimony if it's a text testimony, for example, and people can see multiple ones as they scroll, or you get other ones. Every time someone comes to that page, they will see a different testimonial. But testimonials are very, very important to get credibility to you, to your website, your product. But please don't fake them, don't make them up. If you don't have testimonials yet, please don't make them up yourself. Somehow people they smell that. So please don't do that. Never do that. One of the other things or the next thing that we're going to touch on is a call to action. Now, what does that mean?
Just to recap a little bit here, last week we talked about landing page and opt-ins. Those were one example of call to action, getting people to join into your email list. So today we're just going to show you another few examples of what is a call to action.
Yep. Okay. Now the first thing is, you might recognize or realize this yourself. When you go to a website, you don't always know what to do. So get in the habit, as you're setting up your website, to always tell your visitors what you want them to do. If you want their email address, tell them, please click here, join now, like we've got the list down here. But it's very important, because people come there, it's almost you go and visit somewhere and you're unfamiliar with this surroundings. And it's similar when people come to your website. They don't really know the surroundings, they don't really know you, And if you don't make it easy for people to go to places where you want to take them, or just make it easy for them to find the information, it's going to be very difficult, and they're going to run away. They're not going to come back. If they feel uncomfortable, they're going to go away. So always tell them what to do, not in an overbearing or in a rude way, but there are ways that you can just gently guide them to do what you want them to do. Like, for example, subscribe to our mailing list. Join now. Put a nice colored button there. Join now. Get instant access. Buy now, or a free trial when you sign up. Things like that. So just keep that in mind, and we're not going to go into that now, but you can go and study a little bit about colors as well. Colors are very important and very powerful when it comes to some of these buttons, and when you have these call to actions on your page, it's very important to look at these things as well. There's certain colors that turn people on, certain colors that turn most people off. So just be aware of some of those things, so when you start playing around. And later on I'll mention it again, but I'm going to mention it here. Always go to people that are successful in your specific niche. In other words, in the area where your expertise lie, in the area where you take where you purchased your piece of internet real estate. Let's put it that. So go and look at those people, the successful ones, and you'll see what they do and learn from them. And many of them will also share with you some of their secrets. They might not share all their secrets, but they're going to share some things with you. So those are valuable things to look at as well. All right, search engine optimization. What is that? Search engine optimization is basically just when a search engine like Google or Yahoo, for example, when someone types in search or a keyword, they're searching for something. Now, these search engines like Google, it's just a program, and they go and they collect a lot of information from websites, including your website. And if your information on your web pages are structured in a specific way, because there's sort of a standard that Google sets, and I must just tell you here, they change that from time to time, and
quite often,
fairly often, because people always abuse that, and they do things, they stuff a lot of keywords onto a page, and Google doesn't necessarily like that, because it gives a false impression of your web page. For example, say you've got one keyword and you use it 100 times in there, so now people may think, wow, the search engine rankings on this page is very high, so they go there, and then they can't find what they want. And Google, they're very clever, so they found this out over the years, and so they build these algorithms, and from time to time they change it so that people cannot abuse it and bypass it. So, but there are some basics that doesn't really change, and if you stick to these things, then it will be very beneficial to you. Okay. Search criteria or keywords. Now, keywords is exactly what I said there. It's search criteria. So say, for example, you are looking for a blue bicycle. So what are you going to type in your Google search bar when you're looking for a blue bicycle? You're going to type in blue bicycle. So you must find out what other people are looking for when they're looking for one of your products or for your product. So you can't decide, oh, people are going to look for a bike or something like that. You must go and do a bit of research to find out what are people actually looking for. Now, Google has also changed this their keyword planner tool several times, But you can just go on Google AdWords Keyword Planner, or just keyword search tool, and you'll come up with a Google AdWords Keyword Planner. You'll get a link to that, and you need a Gmail account to go in there. Don't sign up for Google AdWords or anything like that. Just go to the tools section, and there you will find the Keyword Planner. And just go and read on the help files and the tutorials there, and they will guide you how to use this keyword planner and how to get information on which keywords to use, and that'll really help you immensely. Now, I'm just going to give you a few tips here. This is not complete, but a few tips here on where to place your keywords on your web page, for example. So when you are in your WordPress dashboard and you set up your page or your post, these are a few places where you want to place your keywords. But first of all, your keyword should appear in the first paragraph, and they recommend like 2 times, but don't sort of stuff it in there. You know, let it
like natural.
Yes,
must flow.
Yeah, like Judy said earlier, keep everything, keep it conversational, tell a story. That's actually what people want. They like stories. So when you put out this content, but just make sure that that keyword that you want to rank for on that particular page, like blue bicycle, that is included in your first paragraph.
For example, you can say that my son's favorite blue bicycle was in the garage the day he was looking for it. So the keyword blue bicycle will show up in the first 1 or 2 lines, and that would be your keyword you'd be looking for.
Yeah, and that is what Google's program is looking for. And then the second point that we have here, which is probably supposed to be the first, is your keyword or your key phrase should appear in your URL. Now the URL is just the page name. And that is very important as well. So when you name this page, just make sure that your page name or the URL, because you can change your URL separate from your page name, but just make sure that this keyword or the key phrase does appear in your URL. And always try to ensure that your URL is human readable, so that when someone looks at your page name, that they can understand what it's all about. And that is also what Google is trying to do with that. Then the keyword density, that means the number of times that keywords do appear on your page. It shouldn't be too much. 2 times is fine. You can go up to, I would say, about 5 times, but don't go higher than that. Earlier years, people, like I said, people stuffed their pages with keywords, not necessarily where people could see it, but in the background. And nowadays, when Google sees that, they actually penalize you for that. They recommend that when you do a post or a page, that you have a minimum of approximately 300 words, or a minimum of 300 words, 300 to approximately 500 words on your page, but try not to keep it lower than 300 words if you can. If it's just something small that you want to put out, it's fine, but that's sort of the guidelines. Always add images as appropriate. Images speak 1,000 words, and always add relevant images on your page. That makes the search engine optimization so much better. And when you do that, you can also the description on your images, make sure that that's also human readable, that the search engine knows what the image is all about, because it cannot interpret the image. So the description and the name that you attach to the image is then also very important. Text must be easy to read, so short sentences. That makes it much easier for the search engines to summarize your page and to get to know what your page is all about. And then outbound links. If you have outbound links, and that means if you can link to someone else's website or to even between pages on your website, which is very important as well, always do that. So if you've got, say, for example, a resources page, always link to the resources page from inside another page where you refer to that. And another thing, if you can keep your keywords unique for every page on your website, that's also great, so that you also only have one keyword per page that is unique, and the search engines like that very much, because then they can categorize that page or each page then separately, and there's no real overlapping. Okay, tips and tools. Like I said before, and I said I'm going to mention it again, always look what successful people in your niche is doing. Learn from them. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, and don't try to think, I know everything that my audience wants. I've learned many years ago to really look from the other side of the screen, so to speak, from the end user side or from the visitor side, and it helped me so much in so many things that Judy and I have done, and in what we accomplished up to now. Because if you don't put yourself in that position, you may think it's easy or this is just straightforward, but other people don't necessarily. So learn from other people in your specific niche. Yeah, check out our resource page. There are some resources there. We are adding to it all the time. Some of them are free, and some you have to pay for. But and let me just say here as well, on some of those items that we have listed on there, we are affiliates. So if you use that link, we will get a small commission on that, on some of them. But our requirement or our criteria is always, we don't put something on there just because we can make something out of it. Like you will see, there are some free content on there as well, and the free content is growing because we many of the things out there, like for example the SEO plugin by Yoast, it's free, but it's one of the most valuable pieces of program or plugin that you can use on your website. It is incredible. It's helped us a lot, and it makes your life so much easier because it tells you exactly what you still lack sort of on your page. Our resource page is wealthIsADecision.com/resources, and there you will find some interesting information as well. Themes, I'm not going to go too much into themes, but optimized press, if you want to do stuff yourself and really customize your website, then it's a nice tool. We're not using it currently, but I've done quite a bit of research on that, and it's a nice tool that you can use there as well. So next time we're just going to talk a little bit about video creation and YouTube, for just to give you a heads up of what we're gonna do next. And yes, just few notes. This recording of this hangout is available immediately after we've done the hangout. That's one of the nice things of Google, of YouTube. They record while we are doing this live hangout, and the moment it's done, 5 minutes or so, it's live completely. But as far as I know, even now you can go and you can even watch it, and you can go back and forth. You can go and search, and you can scroll back and forth. Everything that we're sharing here will be addressed in an online marketing course that we are currently busy with, and it's coming soon. We're very excited about that, and just know we'll keep you guys updated, and I'm sure you will like that, because that is really it's a very in-depth course where it really takes you from point A to point B, a complete roadmap. And that is all from my side.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yep, there we go.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We now go out there and get your business going, and let's hear the testimonies that's coming in.
Yeah, please share with us the successes and everything that you guys have and that you had over the last while. We're really looking forward to that. And
Yes.
Until next time,
Have a great week.
have a great week.